Hello and welcome to MITV News. I am Chimoke Michaels. In the news tonight, Nigeria has signed a landmark agreement with Equatorial Guinea, a $2.5 billion deal for the construction of a 200-kilometer gas pipeline across the Gulf of Guinea. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikpe Ekpo, has said the project was expected to significantly boost Nigeria's gas exports and create substantial economic benefits for both nations. He explained the gas line will transport Nigeria's natural gas to Equatorial Guinea, where it will be utilized by their LNG, gas and methanol plants. He revealed details of the agreement while speaking with journalists in Malabo. Ekpo highlighted that the project will increase Nigeria's upstream gas production and generate significant economic gains for both countries, adding that the project is also expected to create numerous job opportunities within the gas value chain, employing workers from both Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea in the pipeline's construction and operation. The minister stated that in terms of production, Equatorial Guinea's LNG plant will require 4 million metric tons of gas per year, while the gas and methanol plants will need 1 billion cubic feet of gas per day, each saying that this demand underscores the strategic importance of the agreement for both nations' economies. Ekpo expressed appreciation to President Tinubu for his role in finalizing the agreement, noting that the project would not only strengthen ties between the two countries, but also bring about substantial economic growth.
How will it look for Nigeria?
It will be good for Nigeria because even in the value chain, the gas value chain, the construction of the pipelines will employ people from Nigeria and from both countries to take part in it. So it will create a great employment.
Do you have any statistics, cubic meters?
Okay, yes, in terms of the LNG, I have been informed they will need about 4 million metric tons of gas per year. In the gas plant, we will need about 1 billion cubic feet of gas. Then the methanol plant will need per day. Then the methanol plant will need about 1 billion cubic feet per day. And so this is a good business for Nigeria. Earlier, but I really appreciate Mr. President for finding time to come in and sign this deal with his counterpart in Equatorial Guinea. It will bring about economic gains between the two countries and strengthen the ties. So it is a good one. And of course, you know, our president is really enthusiastic about gas. Anything gas, he will go into it. So I appreciate this because it will bring about increase in upstream of gas in our country, Nigeria, which means the stranded gas will be utilized for economic gains for the two countries.
In another development, Nigeria has announced that it has engaged in discussions with Equatorial Guinea to strengthen security collaboration along their shared borders and in the Gulf of Guinea. Speaking with journalists in Malabo in Equatorial Guinea, the Minister of Defense, Dr. Bello Matawale, noted that though no formal defense agreement has been signed yet, both nations are actively working towards establishing a joint committee focused on conducting patrols and enhancing policing efforts to tackle security challenges in the region. Dr. Matawale also emphasized that a key goal of these proposed joint security patrols is to curb the illegal movement of crude oil, a long-standing issue in the Gulf of Guinea. The Nigerian minister expressed confidence that this partnership between the two countries would lead to a significant reduction in oil theft and other illegal activities in the area, thereby bolstering regional security and economic stability.
There are discussions on defense agreement, not signed yet, but there is a joint committee for joint patrol, policing and security on our borders in the Gulf of Guinea. And that discussion is on, and when constituted, I'm sure we will have robust engagement or patrols on the sea that will prevent all illegalities happening around the Gulf of Guinea.
Is there likely to be any agreement between Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea having to do with how to limit access to oil theft along?
Yeah, this is part of it. The security patrol will certainly check illegal movements of crude oil from both countries, and this will really help to reduce the illegal movement of illegal oil.
Thank you very much. Of this trip of coming with Mr. President on this trip to Equatorial Guinea was to explore areas of youth development with our Equatorial Guinean counterparts, and of course we're in the process of arriving at a treaty, an agreement on youth development with my counterpart, which we will be finalizing by the Joint Commission, which comes up later this year. And of course from Mr. President's speech at several of our engagements, several bilateral engagements, he has clearly stated his commitment to collaborating with other African leaders to ensure that we harness the youth demography, the bulge of young people in Africa towards transformational economic development of the continent, and that it's only when we're strong as a continent and all the leaders come together that we can harness the potential of our young people across the continent.
The Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Christopher Musa, has called for a strategic partnership between the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria and DICON and the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, to drive technological advancements in education and bolster the nation's economy. This appeal follows President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent signing of the DICON Act into law aimed at fostering technological development. General Musa made this appeal during a meeting in Abuja with the Executive Secretary of TETFund, Architect Sonny Echono, who paid a courtesy visit to the CDS. During their discussion, General Musa underscored the critical role of education in human capacity development, highlighting that education is foundational to placing individuals in key positions of leadership and responsibility. The TETFund Executive Secretary, Architect Echono, commended the armed forces under General Musa's leadership for their unwavering dedication to the nation, particularly in supporting educational initiatives. He acknowledged the armed forces' efforts in providing a conducive environment for education despite the challenges posed by insecurity.
My primary school, did my secondary school there, and today I'm here. You know, it can only be God through education. So it's something that we hold very, very dearly. We know the importance and relevance of it. Just yesterday, I was looking at one of the through social media. They were showing Americans were that school in Nigeria. You know, the school in Nigeria but are living in America, and they're Americans. They had a reunion, you know, and they sat down and they were discussing, and you could hear them talking about Ibadan, Ife, and you know, very nostalgic. I also saw one, some Filipinos that also schooled in the north then when we had them. Sokoto, yes. You know, it's so to tell you how Nigeria has really, you know, gone through. So we want to say a very big thank you. From what you are doing has really enhanced the capacity of the educational system. And for the armed forces, we can only continue to appreciate what you are doing. We on our own, we know the importance of security. Again, because without it, one can't even sit down to think.
For the area of research and development, we see it as a major frontier for collaboration, because research into security services, into the development of defense industries, and being able to service that sector is one area that we can express our national aspirations as a people. As we all are aware, there are countries that build their entire economy on their defense industries, and the US is a very good example. Most of the advances that you see translate into the economic well-being and their resource base have their origins in military research and military involvement in development of new techniques, new technologies, and new approaches to solving societal problems and also providing solutions that will be of benefit.
Civil society organization Human Rights Monitoring Agenda has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reverse the elongation term of the Inspector General of Police as against the stipulated retirement age of 60 years. Kayode Egbetokun, who was appointed IGP by President Bola Tinubu in June 2023, is expected to retire in September 2024 at the attainment of 60 years. However, with the passage of a bill by the National Assembly, this could extend the tenure of the current Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, beyond the dictates of the public service rules. The group, who made the call while addressing newsmen at a press conference in Lagos, said President should save Nigeria police force from internal conspiracy and disloyalty among officers of the force, arising from the compromise of career progression, considering the fragility of the country. They pointed that the police, as one of the pillars of democratic institutions, should not be left in the hand of manipulators, adding that they will work with other pro-democracy groups to uphold the principle of due process of law. The group urged President Tinubu to withhold his consent to the amendment bill of Police Act 2022 by the National Assembly.
Mr. President has demonstrated strength of character in the most recent seamless and noiseless succession plans of the head of service of the Federation and the Chief Justice of the Federation. We state that there should not be an exception to the police institution. Our organization, the Human Rights Monitoring Agenda, has written Mr. President to register our complaints against the untidy amendment bill of Police Act 2020 passed by the National Assembly without public hearing, in line with its ancient rules, and we have notified Mr. President about our intention to approach a court of competent jurisdiction in ventilating our grievances to ensure justice in the process of appointment of Inspector General of Police.
The appointment of Mr. Egbetokun, because it's only Mr. President that can appoint an Inspector General of Police in consultation with the Nigerian Police Council. So that is the reason why we are taking it upon ourselves that before we embark on action, we are repeating to Mr. President. The letter has gotten to Mr. President Chibu, and we believe that Mr. President is going to read our letter and come out with an informed opinion about the true position of the thing. There are many, many brilliant, excellent police officers across the length and breadth of Federal Republic of Nigeria from different ethnic groups in Nigeria. It's not compulsory for Mr. Egbetokun to be the Inspector General of Police. And if Mr. Egbetokun is also looking for another job, Mr. President can appoint him as a special advisor on security matter. It's not compulsory for him to remain as Inspector General of Police. So in the circumstance, this matter, we are going to fight it to a logical conclusion on behalf of patriotic Nigerians. Because there are some other Nigerians that also want Mr. Egbetokun to remain in office because of their selfish interest. And that is the reason why we are concerned about the kind of, the quality of law that is coming out from the National Assembly of Federal Republic of Nigeria.